What is up, everyone? It's me again, Gamerlush. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but personal life been crazy and everything, and getting the free company all organized and having a get-together. We're still going to be considered as stats. For today, we are going to be looking at the Thaumaturge. Guys, I will be going over all the other job classes, and I will be then going over crafting, and those are probably the future videos that are going to be popping up. I still will be playing other video games when I can get to them. I've recently acquired a part-time job, a second part-time job, so I have a little less free time than I would have before, but I do still have my weekends off, and that's when I will be interacting more often with my free company and being able to play with you guys more often. But I appreciate you guys' patience and joining me and subscribing. Before we continue on, guys, you know what time it is. Cheers. Okay, now, Thaumaturge, we're going to go over the stats real quick. This is considered one of my favorite classes next to Arcanist, and that's basically all I have not been disappointed with any of the casting classes in this game so far. There are people who are saying, oh, it's a little bit too boring, but if I like the fact that the stance dancing for this class is really interesting, and it really lets the player, be more aware of of how their playstyle is, instead of just spamming the same button over and over again. To where it has a rotation like a lot of other classes, but it still makes it seem more interesting instead of just hitting that one button over and over again. But yeah, for stats wise, guys, of course, intelligence is #1 priority. It affects the damage of all spells. So of course, go ahead and transpost. So, of course, attack potency, that you are a damage dealer. That is your job. That's what you're there for, to acquire a lot of burst damage. The way your rotation is going to work is going to change around almost every other spell that you get. So, you want to keep constantly making sure and testing out your rotations for that, to maximize making sure your MP is full and doing the most damage output you possibly could. Alright, now, with the fact that Umber Ice basically keeps your MP almost full at all times throughout the fight, and the Black Mage really doesn't have to worry about its MP at all, unless you're just totally not paying attention at all. Then that's pretty much your own fault. And so, as you can see, I keep casting and it's still full. But Ice, of course, is the weaker spell out of your your repertoire of skills. So, of course, you're going to want to switch out Transposed into Astral Fire, because Astral Fire is, your fire spells are the hardest hitting spells in your book. But when you're in Astral Fire, of course, your MP will not regenerate. Let's go ahead and switch out. But with Umber Ice, of course, it regenerates ridiculously fast. You saw that right there. Okay, now what does that have to do with anything? You're probably saying, well, that means why the hell should I even concentrate on Piety? Now, Mind, of course, is going to be unless you have switched out a skill to where you cure, and you can throw in that emergency cure. Let's say the white mage is out of action for a little bit, or he can't get a spell, or he's stunned for a minute. And yeah, go ahead and throw in a heal every once in a while. Help the party out, besides just mindlessly DPSing whatsoever. It's like, okay, the white mage is stunned. Well, first I should probably be helping him curing the reason why he's stunned in the first place. But if I can't do anything, let me throw in a couple of heals. So this is maybe the only reason why you'd probably put in some points in the mind. Guys, I keep stressing, this is just an opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine. Leave your comments below saying what you think is important. But of course, mind is going to be your least important stat to worry about. Okay, now, with Piety, you're probably thinking, well, of course, a max MP pool doesn't really matter, seeing how you can keep constantly keeping it full in Umber Ice all the time. But you want to think of at one point, the max MP pool means that this allows you to cast more fire spells, because, of course, the larger MP pool, the longer you can stay in Astral Fire stance. So Piety is still an important stats to have, because you can still have that period where you're just doing that crazy burst DPS before you have to switch over back to Umber Ice to fill it back up again. So, of course, you know, this is just a matter of opinion. If you're really good at just, you know, with those short periods of time to where you're not doing as much damage dealing with the Umber Fire on, then go, by all means, stick it all in intelligence. Now, with that said, those are pretty much. Then another stat you might want to be considering on taking is, of course, vitality, because if, of course, you're getting hit by AoEs, you can't do any DPS at all if you're dead. It's just that's just a state of fact. It's a fact. You're no good if you're dead. And you know, having that vitality and that little bit amount of HP to where the white mage or scholars don't have to worry too much about healing you is really nice to have, you know, and you're helping out the group that way. Alright, so with that said, you know, so I guess through priority wise, I would say, of course, intelligence, piety, vitality, then maybe a little bit of mind. You guys, excuse me, guys. A little sniffly there. Alright, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for the stress strats all together, and you know, allocating, and then of course these are all buffed up by armor, as you can see here. Now, for secondary stats. Oh, bless me, sorry guys. Alright, so for this one, this is my opinion personally. Now, for secondary stats, I would go first with critical strike rating. Of course, the bigger hits is very nice to have, and plus when you're going through your Astral Fire stage, having those really cool, awesome big crits is, you know, what's essentially what your class is made for those, you know, that constant DPS. Then skill speed, I believe. This, you know, lowers the spell cast time. Of course, the more, you know, lowering the spell cast time will lower the amount of spells you can pull off, and with the fact that with Umber Ice you can speed up that phase where you're in Umber Ice trying to fill up that MP pool by casting those ice spells and then going straight back to Astral Fire. And then after that would go for Determination, because of course it does increase magical attacks as well. So those are the three stats I would concentrate on, guys. Like I said, this is opinion. If you have a different opinion, please leave your comments below. And guys, get those, you know, looking for other people's opinion, not just one person, is a really good way to help strategize the way you want to do your play style. That's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, so I've been going around just torching people up. It's a really cool skill to have. And, you know, Black Mage is, if you're really for, like, good, nice, not too simple casters, but, you know, it's, you know, straightforward. It's like, here I am, I'm going to do big burst damage with a couple of dots. And, you know, and I am made sure that there's hardly any you know, slowdown for me, because I'm responsible for my own mana pool. You know, and I won't need refresh as much because Umber Ice is basically my super refresh. But you know, but guys, I really appreciate you joining me with this. This is a real quick video, not too much to explain. So to reiterate, intelligence, piety, vitality, and mind are probably the main stats you want to worry about, in that order. And then afterwards, in my opinion, guys, if you have a different opinion about this, critical hit rate, spell speed, and determination are going to be in that order, are going to be your secondary stats that you want to worry about. Alright guys, again, guys, I appreciate you spending your time with me. You guys, I do. My name information and the free company name is in the description below. If you guys are wanting to join, please come join the server. You guys are more than welcome. We'll be putting about 3 or 4 names of the officers that or captains you want to be looking out for. If I'm not online, these are the 4 people or 3 to 4 people that you want to look out for and look for their names. And you know, hey, I'm a viewer of the Gamerlush show. He seems like a nice guy. You guys are. I'm making sure that all my officers are very friendly and very helpful, and I appreciate their time. You know, guys, and as always, if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe. Guys, please comment below. You know, put your opinions down there. You know, if they're constructive. If they're just trolls, you know, you're going to be ignored. But, you know, as always, guys, appreciate you. Cheers, and game on. Magic Missile. That's it. So right now, we're going to go ahead and talk about what stats should the pugilists have. But before we go into that, we killed a couple small critters. Guys, you know what time it is. Raise your glasses. Cheers. Almost forgot. Alright. Alright, that's it. Pugilist. The almighty well, not heavyweight, I guess. The almighty boxer, or kung fu master in the art of war, comes to punch people in their face, their guts, and heck, even give them a low blow to the leg. Give